What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Your host is back in the driver's seat. You might have missed me last week. You might have not. I don't know. We did do a rewind last week, but we also dropped a second episode where my partner, Bobby B, and my better half, or not better half, my better, I guess, representation of who I am. My firstborn. She sat in as the hostess with the mostest, the mini host, and they knocked out an awesome conversation that is available on our YouTube. So subscribe if you haven't and check it out. You'll find that in the videos below, I'm sure. And we're back to talk this week's Fusion.
Yeah, it was a good one.
It was a good one. They're always entertaining. I mean, I don't really ever see a bad Fusion. There may be a couple spots that, so, but always solid. Always a solid hour.
Nobody's like on 100% of the time. You're never going to get perfection 100% of the time. But Fusion is amazing bang for your buck. For a 1 hour show, they pack in a lot of content. And this week was no exception. So we opened with Cesar Duran.
Or as King Mo would call him, CD.
CD.
We'll get to that later. There was an awesome King Mo promo. It was great. It was awesome later on the show. But Cesar Duran comes out and he asks the fans, he says, it's time for you to decide who's going to be the ultimate sacrifice in this ring tonight. And as he's going around the ring, the crowd's getting all hyped. They're throwing out names. Music hits. 5150 strolls out. You know them all, but we'll list them. You got Danny Rivera. You got Slice Boogie. You got Big Smoke. And you got Conan, who's always high on weed all the time.
Not glue,
weed. We'll get into that in like literally 30 seconds. But they came out. Durant said what the, I guess I should repeat exactly, quote unquote, what he said, right?
What did he say precisely?
He said, what the fuck do you want?
Oh, yes, he did.
And all the gentlemen proceeded to cut a little bit of promo here and there, but then Conan got on the mic. He said, I'm going to tell you what the fuck I want. The fuck I want is get Los Parks out here because we want those tag team titles. And wouldn't you know, Los Parks answered the call. All three of them walked out, and it was pandemonium. Everyone's hitting everyone. The refs couldn't get anybody out of control. It was just insane. Finally, security and the refs broke it up, and as they were escorting 5150 to the back, Filthy Tom and Kevin Koo stroll out. Filthy Tom looking confident, looking like he's ready to get back into a title picture. Says to CD, I'm going to use that from now on. I think CD is going to stick.
Yeah, I like CD.
I like CD easier, especially considering I have a hard time pronouncing certain names. CD is perfect for me because I can not screw that up. So I'm very excited about CD. So he says to CD, you know, I'm a prize fighter. I want to fight for a prize. I want a title shot. So as CD said at the beginning of the episode, the ultimate sacrifice, who better than Tom Lawler to be the ultimate sacrifice? He's going to go one-on-one for the Caribbean Championship against King Muertes in none other than a casket match.
And Filthy Tom did not look too pleased at being given that match. He came out all denimed up and sweaty, ready to go, and his mood went down real quick.
And Kevin Koo trying to hold him back like he's going to hit Duran, which probably wouldn't have been the best idea anyways, considering you've already been put in a casket match. If you were to strike CD, there would be problems, all kinds of problems.
There would be issues. And I just, speaking of, you know, CD was asking the fans, I got to ask the fans something. Who had or has the better hair? Prime Eric Bischoff or CD?
Can I put my vote in?
I need to know where you stand. Yeah.
Can I put my vote in? CD. I mean, it was perfect. There was not a hair out of place today. It was perfect.
I'm sorry, I'm a Bischoff guy.
I'm a Bischoff guy too. I mean, I appreciate Eric Bischoff. He's a legend for what he's done.
No, the hair. I'm a Bischoff hair guy. That hair was magnificent.
So hair like circa 96, 97?
Yeah, that black hair, jet black. He dyed it. It was great.
Okay. All right. Right on. So when he used to come out with the like semi-flowing locks.
Yeah. That was like model Eric Bischoff. That was prime Bischoff.
Yeah, he had volume. He had peak. Yeah, he definitely did take care of his hair. Yeah, he did have a lot of volume. He used probably used Fruitus or herbal essences back then for sure.
Oh yeah, he was using all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Or maybe Soul Glow. You know.
So
let your soul glow.
So we had
yes. So
following that segment, we had a featherweight match. Women's
tag
featherweight
team
division.
Match. Tag team match.
It was the Sea Stars against Willow Nightingale and Ashley Vox. Sorry, was it Ashley Vox?
Zoe Sky.
Zoe Sky, excuse me.
Zoe Sky. Ashley Vox is part of the Sea Stars.
Correct. Willow Nightingale and Zoe Sky against the Sea Stars, which was a real good match. Really enjoyable tag team match. Willow and Zoe were working more as a tag team than some tag teams I've seen.
Yeah, they did it old school. They cut the ring in half. They kept Vox away from her partner for quite a bit of the match. And but the weird part about it is, as Nightingale got thrown out during the tail end of the match, Holiday appeared from under the ring, couple shots to Nightingale, and dragged her to hell, preferably, if you will, underneath the ring and she disappeared, leaving Sky to fend for herself, which is not a good idea. Therefore, the Sea Stars, as you can probably tell, spoiler alert, just by that statement, the Sea Stars won. But what was cool is that after that, Sky rolled out of the ring, kind of looking for Nightingale under the ring. She pulled her out. She did pull her out. And the Sea Stars helped carry her to the back.
That was sweet.
That was nice. Sportsmanship. I like it. Sportsmanship.
Sportswomanship.
Yes, sportswomanship. Thank you. Good match. Solid match. The featherweights have been impressive since the debut of the division. And every week, getting a little bit more time to shine. And that's what we need. And that's what Court Bauer, during that conference, he talked a lot about building up that featherweight division, giving them spotlight. And he's done that. He's delivered. I cannot say enough about Court Bauer and a lot of the promises that he's made. He's delivered on.
He has.
Should we also talk about some of the releases that happened before we get deeper into the thing?
Well, we know Jordan Oliver.
So Injustice is officially dead, at least in MLW. Jordan Oliver has been released. Also, Beastmaster was released. Tom Lawler did not renew his contract, so the casket match was probably a way to get him off TV. I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, you know that. That's just Wrestling 101. Somebody's no longer contracted. You've got to get rid of them somehow, the character anyways, from TV. And this is the best way to do it. And there was a couple other releases that the names are escaping me right now, but we wish them all the best of luck. We know they're going to land on their feet. Jordan Oliver has a great indie reputation and he will do fine on the indies. And who knows, just because he's gone now doesn't mean the door is closed. The door in wrestling is never closed.
Correct.
So we wish Oliver especially all the best. We're big fans of him.
Sometimes having somebody on an exclusive contract is just, you've got to keep things within your budget, and sometimes you just can't have everybody on an exclusive, and sometimes you have to bring them in on per show deals if you bring them in, and that's just the way the business works.
Yeah, and a lot of people, of course, with ROH also announcing that they're kind of shutting down shop for the after December of this year, for the first quarter of next year, their whole roster being released after the final pay-per-view in December. Sorry,
did you see that they posted?
No,
the parent company posted today like a $12 million loss or something for the quarter.
Yeah, well, and it's not surprising. There was a lot of bad decisions made, obviously behind the scenes, not on ROH's part, on everything else. So a lot of people speculating in the wrestling world, unfactual reports, if you will. We're not speculating. A lot of people saying that MLW is facing the same financial hardships. I don't believe that to be the case. I believe that they're just making some capital room and freeing up some space. And let's be honest, Bukudao was also one of the releases as well. Yeah, Bukudao was another one of the releases. There was one more, name is escaping me, but I'm sure it'll come to me. But those releases, I don't believe to be in hurt of the company. I believe they would just be, freeing up capital. WWE's released a ton of talent this year, and they're not hurting for profit. They've actually had a high quarter from what the stock showed last quarter. Right. So everybody's kind of in the black, maybe not ROH right now, but ROH also did state that throughout the pandemic, they kept everybody contracted. They paid everybody. And when you're eating away and you're not kind of bringing in revenue, it's hard to get back on your feet. I understand the reason.
They weren't running live shows either following the pandemic, when pretty much everyone else had returned to live shows. So just a whole bunch of stuff. And it's unfortunate, but we wish everybody who's been released, regardless of what company you were at, all the best in the future, and hope you land on your feet.
Absolutely. And even though this is an MLW solely based podcast, I do want to say that ROH is one of the first companies to put Straight Talk on, to give me an opportunity at their roster, and I will be eternally grateful to everyone that I've been able to speak to from that organization. And I know they will bounce back on their feet. And again, you can go through the archives and see all the great conversations. Maria Canales, Mike Bennett, most recently Roxy, Trisha Dore, a lot of great talent. And it sucks, but I'm sure they will be back. Shane Taylor as well. Shane Taylor Promotions ahead of STP. I know they're all going to do great things. And like Shane Taylor said in one of his recent Facebook posts, it's time to kick in the door and let him see you. So looking forward to seeing where everyone's going to land and how that's going to shape up. Who knows? We may see some of those faces in MLW. I would love to see, most notably, Mike Bennett. I think Mike Bennett would be an amazing addition to the MLW roster.
I think whoever picks up Jonathan Gresham that's a massive coup, because he's one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Bandito as well. Bandito's phenomenal talent.
We flipping back to the Fusion here, because we get sidetracked. We do that.
Well, we're passionate wrestling fans. There's nothing wrong to get sidetracked. Okay. Yes,
but great to see Warhorse. Love Warhorse.
Well, we should get into that. We should get into the build up to that. So because last week Calvin Tankman was attacked with, again, we're trying to figure out what it was. It's like the electronical attachment to like a flat,
like a griddle or
like something like that. But
it was a sharp object,
and they fucked him up pretty bad. And we thought for sure Tankman was going to be out of the Opera Cup, and therefore Kane would slide in being the alternate. Not the case. Tankman, Alicia Altu broke some news. Tankman is at home in Indiana recovering. He's not leaving the Opera Cup. He will be back to face TJP. Why are we both doing this?
I'm just following you.
He will be back to face TJP. So unfortunately, Alex Kane's plan and King Mo's plan, top team's plan, did not happen the way they wanted. So a frustrated Alex Kane released an open fight challenge. If you beat him, you're going to get some cash money. So, hey, Warhorse wants that money. He wants that green. He came out to answer the call, and it was a great match. Warhorse taking out King Mo right away with a headbutt, flying headbutt statement to say, King Mo, this is going to be a one-on-one match. Kane proceeded to have 5 different suplexes in the match. And I know that because King Mo had his signs. There's at least 50 of them in that card. So maybe even 100, because I know Kane has 100 plus suplexes.
Just throwing up a sign for every suplex.
And Warhorse, great match, but it did not go his way. Kane did win. And as Kane was walking back up the ramp with King Mo, Alicia Altu came out and said, it seems like you are just trying to take out opponents, take out people, to where the best promo line of the night happened. Do you want to quote it or should I?
You can quote it. Be my guest.
King Mo said, what are you talking about? Listen, CD wants to keep playing. Now, everyone out there calls him Cesar Duran. I call him CD. And if he keeps playing, he's going to see these nuts in his mouth.
Well done.
Dramatic pause. CD's nuts in his mouth. King Mo, shout out, promo of the night, my dude. Awesome. Loved it so much.
And like you said, it was a great match. I love seeing Warhorse on TV because he's great dude, great wrestler. Alex Kane, however, just really dominant. He's putting in all that work,
all of this work,
and having had the opportunity to sit down and have a chat with him last week, which if you didn't listen to, you should go back and listen to it on Straight Talk Wrestling, because it was a great conversation. And Alex is a nice guy unless you give him a reason not to be, and I would not want to be across the ring from him. So Warhorse put in a valiant effort, but he could not overcome the suplex assassin, and Alex Kane continues his rise in MLW.
Yeah, and undefeated thus far. He has not lost yet in MLW since his debut. So we know that is a telltale sign. If you're undefeated and you're hot as he is going to be in a title picture for one of those titles very, very soon. Most notably, probably the Openweight, National Openweight Championship. Now, I do want to say this, speaking of National Openweight Champion, the former National Openweight Champion, Alex Hammerstone, the cameraman, the MLW cameraman, the workhorses of MLW, they caught up with Hammer. And they said, Hammer, are you going to talk to CD about your War Chamber match? To which he said, I don't trust that guy. Get out of here. And he literally did that. He said, get out of here.
Shoot.
Got in his car and he rolled out. That's it. Peace out. And right after that, a couple minutes later, Joseph Samael cut another Joseph Samael promo. And what can you say? Just awesome. Also, a little bit of confusion earlier on in the show. The Black Hand of Contra, Max Kruger, he cut a promo saying that he was the leader of Contra and he was going to send his soldiers into war. And he's back to being unaudible, not being able really to hear all of it.
Very difficult to hear.
And it sucks because I really thought they'd clean that up, but I guess they've gone back to that. So I don't know. There seems to be a little bit of dissension in the ranks of Contra as to who the leader is. Samael, we know, is the leader, but Max Kruger now stating he's the leader. Or at least what we heard. We may have heard that wrong, but from what I could make out, I did hear that part. So a little bit of confusion there, and we got to get some clarification on actually who is running the show in Contra. But until then, hail Contra.
Yeah. Joseph Samael talking about propaganda and spinning the narrative and kind of stuff. It was great. And following that, we had was that when we saw Tom Lawler and his
Tom Lawler and Kevin Koo backstage with a small whiteboard, not even like a full wall whiteboard, like a very tiny one, something you would hang on your fridge to write down we need milk and we need bread.
Casket with the IT.
Spelled casket completely wrong.
That killed me.
Kevin Koo couldn't really understand the drawing of the plan. There was like a dream bubble with what looked like a cactus, but Tom said it was a chair, and then it looked like a car and a tank pointed at Muertes. Chainsaw apparently was in there too. Basically, he was telling Koo, you cannot let me get inside the casket, to where Koo said, you know what? Sponsorship money seems to have run out. This is not for me anymore. This is not working out. I'm leaving. So Tom Lawler began to snap and say, on the biggest match of my life, you're going to tell me this? To which Kevin Ku said, deuces, I'm out. Peace. He's done. So Team Filthy is no longer a team because we have not seen Guarini since Battle Riot. Kevin Ku now has left. So Tom Lawler there's just no Team Filthy. It's just Filthy Tom Lawler.
Man, I'm gonna miss Tom Lawler because segments like that were just freaking fucking gold.
Well, we remember the piss test segment. That's still gold.
Still, like, I'm gonna miss that, but best wishes to Filthy Tom, whatever he decides to do next stage in his career.
Well, definitely going to be going back to the Octagon. I do see that in the future. I know he did kind of speculate that he had one more serious MMA run in him. So we're definitely going to see him in the Octagon in one way, shape, or form, for sure.
And then that moves pretty much on to the match itself with King Muertes and Filthy Tom Lawler.
Now, what was interesting about this match is Lawler strolls out on his own. The casket is there. He's looking at it. He's nervous. He's uncomfortable. And then Muertes' entrance happened, but he was not alone. Carly Perez has returned to television, and she has some mystical control over Muertes with some incense and a bloody skull, which he carried out, but then handed to her. The skull's more like picture Paul Bearer and the Undertaker, circa like the early years of the Undertaker with the urn. It seems the bloody skull gives Muertes a little bit of extra mystical power.
Picture Paul Heyman with the urn.
I said, but I corrected it right away and said Paul Bearer.
No, but picture Paul Heyman with the urn.
Don't watch it. It's creepy. It's very creepy. Yeah, you paint him very pale. Paul Heyman could be a stand-in for Paul Bearer.
Yeah, I'm just that image just made me laugh. I was picturing Paul Heyman walking with the Undertaker.
I got chills on the back of my hairs on the back of my neck are standing out, and I want to carry on, but I am uncomfortable with that.
Okay.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
So,
no,
so we have Carly Perez returns. She's got the skull. She's got this sort of magical, mystical control over King Muertes. It's a valiant effort to the point that they broke the damn casket, which we couldn't stop laughing.
Actually,
poor referees had to hold one side of the top.
Instead of lifting it like this, they kind of just had to lift it up at some points. You know what? The casket was definitely a poorly made construction casket for sure. Whoever built it should be shamed because it did not. I mean, if it was used at an actual funeral, would have not held up and the body would have rolled out. It would have rolled out.
Well, I don't think anybody would have got DDT'd on it before they used it at the funeral.
DDT'd, a couple power slams. There was also like a power bomb, buckle bomb, if you will. There was a lot of Muertes definitely used the casket to his advantage.
That casket took some bumps.
It took some bumps for sure. You know what? Tom Lawler had a couple opportunities to put it away, just couldn't get it done with the bloody skull and the extra power of mysticism from Carly Perez. And unfortunately, did not work out for Tom Lawler. Nope, the casket door was shut. Muertes retained, and that was it.
And Tom Lawler is now missing and presumed dead as far as MLW is concerned.
Now, we also did talk about promo of the night being from King Mo, but there was another great promo that we wanted to save for the end because it was so good that it was gold. Richard Holiday, with his bandages wrapped around his face, very much so looked like toilet paper. Not gonna lie, did look a lot like, or streamers, like white
it
party
looked like streamers, yeah, toilet paper.
But at least
which
he had
it funnier.
He had his mouth down, so you could actually hear what he said instead of last week where we don't know exactly what was thrown out, but Alicia was very offended. So he was very excited that despite all this being going on, he landed a huge marketing campaign. So he has, the consumers. He has the what does he call the consumer?
Oh, I forgot the Japanese words.
No. Well, the is senshi or something. Senshi, I want to say something along the lines of that. But he landed a big marketing campaign in Japan, and now he has the Japanese consumers, and he's got this big candy deal, and he wanted to give Alicia a sample. He has him behind a locked door, and the door was kind of ajar. And when he opened it, Tajiri was there eating all the candy, and Richard Holiday very upset.
Shosha.
Thank you.
Shosha.
So he now has the Shoshas under his belt as well. And Tajiri eating all the candy. Richard Holiday not happy about that at all. Very, very upset. And Tajiri begins to, I guess, swear at him or verbally abuse him in Japanese, throwing the candy at him. Richard slams the door, and when Richard slams the door, Alicia is already gone. She's nowhere to be seen. As soon as she saw Tajiri eating the candy, she's like, I'm out. I don't want to try it anymore because I don't want to fuck with Tajiri and his candy. There's no way in hell. But Richard Holiday, always gold, even if he's not in the ring, gold all around. This man needs to be featured more. You could see a whole hour of Fusion just on Richard Holiday.
He's so unintentionally funny And when you throw Alicia into the mix, like she really needs to get into acting because just last week her facial expressions were killing us during the match with Holiday. This week she's always just killing us with her dynamism and she's very dynastic.
She is. She's very dynastic, dynamic, if you want to call it.
There you go.
On
Always making us laugh. So
always.
We love these segments.
Yeah, they're gold and they're
Golden.
great. And speaking of Richard Holiday, he was actually on a most recent 5 questions with my daughter, the mini host, and she asked a big question. She asked if Richard and Alicia are an item off camera, and you could watch it and find out the answer. But I mean, if we all know Richard Holiday like we do, the answer was an emphatic no. He'll never date a Canadian was actually part of the answer. So I know Alicia's not totally upset with that. She's probably totally comfortable with that, knowing that that's not an option out there. But these two have some great on-camera chemistry, and they are dynamic together. And even sometimes when you add Hammerstone to the mix, with the 3 of them together, Hammer's unintentionally funny as well. Like one of my best promos from last year was in the bathroom when Alicia walked in and just freaked out on Richard and left, and then Hammerstone looked at him and was like, "Bro, you got a crush, bro?" Like it was gold. It's gold. So go back to the archives of MLW Fusions, watch them, enjoy them, appreciate them. We're also gearing up, heading into War Chamber. We already know the matches. We still don't know the 2 final members of Team Hammer, but we do know that they will be good. We also know that Enzo will be making his MLW debut at War Chamber. So we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to everything War Chamber because it's awesome. So, let us know your thoughts. Let us know who you think the 2 remaining members of Team Hammer might be. Give us your thoughts, your picks. And also just a few announcements. Next week, we will see Davey Richards going one-on-one with Bobby Fish in the semifinals of the Opera Cup. And the other match officially now confirmed that because Tankman is back in it. He's not leaving the Opera Cup. TJP going to Calvin Tankman. That'll be happening the week after. But next week, we're going to see Bobby Fish and Davey Richards just tear the house down. That'll be match of the night. I want to say I'm going to put it in early contention for match of the year because I don't think these 2 are gonna disappoint. It's going to be a banger. I'm going to put my staple in for it now. That's how confident I am.
Like MLW match of the year.
MLW match of the year. Dare I say it'll be definitely one of the top 10 matches in wrestling of the year. And I know. I mean, the year is almost over. It's possible you could slide in there for sure.
Because I'll tell you right now, so far from everything I've seen this year, my match of the year has been Josh and TJP Iron Man match.
Absolutely. I would agree with that. I would also say Davey Richards and Josh from GSW that went to a no decision time limit. And we know there's going to be a part 2 to that one because GSW brings the fire. Shout out to Brandon Scary and all the people over at GSW. They do great work. That's Global Syndicate Wrestling. Quickly before we go, I was thinking something we might do because they don't do them anymore. I was thinking the power rankings in MLW. I was thinking you and I could go through 1 to 10 who is the top of the food chain right now in terms of power rankings in MLW. What do you think?
Just off the top of my head?
Just off the top of the head. Just have some fun. So number 10, I would put actually number 10 because I think he's great. And I think he's his promo on the mic just slayed me this week. So I'm going to put King Mo at number 10. Just because CD's nuts in your mouth.
And this is just like a
power rankings.
Just an arbitrary.
Just our thoughts and feelings on power rankings in MLW right now. So I'm going to say, would you agree? King Mo number 10.
Sure.
Okay. Who do you put number 9?
Let's put I don't know. How about Calvin Tankman? He's been on a pretty big tear lately.
Calvin Tankman, number 9. I like it. Number 8, I'm going to go ahead and throw in 5150. All of them.
Oh, all of them.
All of them together as a unit. 5150, number 8.
Okay. All right.
Number 7.
Number 7. Let's go with Willow Nightingale, who has been featured heavily in the featherweight division. She was unfortunately ambushed by Holiday this week, but
definitely a front runner for the face of the featherweight. I will give you that.
Yeah.
Number 6, I'm actually going to throw in her counterpart. I'm going to throw in Holiday because I like this feud. I like where it's going, and I think the mind games today's episode of Holiday were fucking beautiful. So I'm going to throw Holiday in at number 6. What do you got for 5?
Alex Kane, the Suplex Assassin.
I love it. I actually would have put him in the top 3, but I don't mind him in the top 5.
Okay.
Now I would throw in number 4, Richard Holiday.
Okay.
Richard Holiday.
Number 3, I'll say coming off the back of his big victory last week, let's go TJP.
Nice. I like that. I like TJP. Number 2, I would put in just because of the statement win today. I would throw in King Muertes as number 2.
And for number 1, I'm going to put in the still hot heavyweight champion of MLW, Alexander Hammerstone.
I like it. Those are our top 10. And we will also be having a written article, if you will, on the Wrestling Index for the Power Ranking Top 10. So we're going to do them every Wednesday.
Perfect
when
10.
we drop these. That's the perfect 10. So we're going to make that the end of every episode going forward. Our Power Rankings, not the official MLW Power Ranking, our Power Rankings. And the numbers may change. Somebody may fall off the list next week because they don't do anything that impresses us. But those are your top 10 Power Rankings in MLW. And I think that's the best way to end this week's episode. As always, I'm your host, your boy, George Mackay. My socials are Straight Talk Wrestling on Instagram, Facebook, Straight Talk Wrestling on YouTube. If you're watching this, then you're already there. Just click the subscribe button. Help us out. We are literally this close to 400. It will be awesome to get to that. And then go above 400, hit the next milestone. So we can keep the content coming. As long as you're watching, we're definitely going to keep making these podcasts and videos because it's fun for us and we love it, especially when we're talking about MLW. And at _straight talk on Twitter. I also have a link tree on all of my socials. You can click for merch, like this wonderful hat, $24.99 on Spreadsheet. So, anything you purchase doesn't go into my pocket. It goes into saving up for tickets, saving up for press passes, saving up for press releases, saving up for everything that we could do to keep bringing amazing content to you, because that's what we do.
Yeah. And you can follow me on Instagram at The Real Uncle Bobby B. I'm a civilian. I don't have any merch and I don't have a link tree, but I have an Instagram and that's where you can find me.
Also has a Twitter that he consistently forgets to mention.
Oh yeah, I have a Twitter.
Yeah.
I should probably use that.
At Uncle_Bobby_B.
Is that what it is?
I believe that's what it is.
All right.
And the name is like Rob Noli.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what you put in there.
I should probably check that thing.
You should probably definitely check that. I tag you in every episode release.
Oh, that must be those
Yeah.
notifications I get.
Yeah, that's what those are. It's little,
Ah.
if you go on the actual app, it's like a bell. You just click the bell and it brings up all your notifications.
Have you seen how many unread emails I have?
Yes, I do. It's 51,175. As always, I'm your host, your boy, George Mackay. Thank you so much for watching this week's MLW Rewind. We'll be back next week. Same place, same time, same channel. Until then, peace, love, and wrestling.
Yeah.
Peace. Yeah.